And today's collection is the tops. Yes, really. It's a series of tops I found in Munich on a recent trip. And of course this is the standard tippy top, but I bought it because the colours are so strong. A lovely yellow inside the piece, and then the wonderful arrangement of colours that slowly turns over made it a very attractive version of the tippy top. But all the other tops I came across were, well, some of them were very unusual, completely unique to me. I've never come across them before. This is a fairly standard one, but it's very well made. It's really for adults. It's the old spring. There's a very powerful spring inside, and you need to turn it up, but there's no catch to hold it back, so children couldn't do this. You need to actually hold it in your hand as an adult. There's a very strong spring, and then really fast. A lot of inertia, very high speed. The spring is strong, and it will last a long, long time, in fact. But slows down very gradually. I'll damp it a bit because it's quite nice to see it. There's a diffraction grating at the top, which is well nice. Diffraction grating paper. That's quite satisfying, that bit there. So it's a standard top, but it is very well made, but something for adults because the spring inside is very strong and there's no catch that children would find helpful. The next one is completely strange to me. I've never come across anything quite like this before. It's a standard top, although a very small one, very well crafted and beautifully balanced, and spins on a mirror superbly. That will go on for a long, long time. But the idea is you put it on this plinth, and there's a very strange little feature at the bottom, a tiny little sort of extra ring almost. And what happens is when you spin it on the top, it doesn't last anything like as long, but it will stay upright. So there it's spinning, stops, and it does not fall down. You see what happens? It catches on the edge there. Every single time you spin this darn thing, it does not fall down. It stays up on the top and refuses to fall. It doesn't last a long time on the thing because there's too much friction, but no fall down. Very clever idea and very unusual. The next one is even stranger, Pusterbloom, a blowing one. It's got little veins in it. It's a very, very beautiful top. It's got these little silver veins with a couple of gold cones in the middle, acting as fulcrums. And the idea is you put it between your fingers and blow like this. And when it blows, it spins, but when you blow it really hard, you can take your thumb away. So we'll have a go. Take your hand away, and it spins on the tip of the finger. Lovely idea, that, but only spins on the fingers. There's a company in Austria I came across at Nuremberg Toy Fair every year called Marder, who sometimes finds some very unusual Japanese tops. This one called Coomer is such a top. There's a fulcrum here, but this is it doesn't protrude enough. So if I try to spin it, well, it will spin on the mirror in a manner of speaking, but nothing like what it's supposed to do. What you're supposed to do with this is put it on your tip of your finger. And then if you're getting really good, which I can't do, you hop from finger to finger. Well, that's just beyond me, but I'll have a go with the first bit of it, which is putting it on the end of my finger. That's all right. Try it on my thumb. And the little finger is supposed to be the hardest bit, but I think I can do that. But what I can't do is make it hop from finger to finger. That's very difficult. But that's what the Japanese can do, hop. Make it hop to hop to hop to hop. Very hard to do. A Coomer top. Very unusual. Coming out of straight tops, but I did find this also in Munich, is a version of the rattleback for the desk top, because this one it's a standard rattleback, so it'll spin anti-clockwise, but refuses to spin clockwise. It rattles and reverses. But there's a magnet in the middle, so it's supposed to keep your paper clips nice and tidy, and it then performs still as a little plaything for executives. The magnet there made me think there's a nice way of changing the physics of this. If you get an old piece of metal, and this one I've got an old screwdriver blade, place it in the middle, the magnet will hold it nice and firmly, and it'll still behave because you haven't altered the distribution of the masses inside. It'll still behave as a standard rattleback. If you put it this way, which merely exaggerates the amount of off-center weighting, it's still happy with the behavior of the rattleback. Spins one way and not the other. Now if you reverse it the other way, you're now going to be able to reverse the rattleback, I think. It'll spin that way, it won't rattle back, but if I spin it anti-clockwise, it rattles and reverses. Very interesting. So you can do a lot of play and show just what's going on to create this very, very curious anomaly. Here's one I've also picked up at the main spinning top shop, but it's not well, it spins, but it's not actually a top. It's just a lovely little plaything. It's got a lovely Archimedean screw made with bits of wood, and either the big piece outside or the small piece inside can move up and down. That's all it is. It's a very, very nice bit of wood carving, and the pieces exactly match to create the effect of an Archimedes screw. Superb. Going back to tops again, my physicist friend set a little task to his students to make the best top they could out of pieces of wire or paper clips, and this is the one that won the prize. He's arranged it so that there's a little fulcrum in the middle there, that's slightly higher. This is just a little bit of electrical cable, that's all this is. And then by having a nice widening space from the fulcrum, it means you've got a moment of inertia. So if we give it a little spin, and then we'll speed it up a bit. Move forward a bit. And on a flat surface, he managed to spin that for the longest time. Very simple, lovely idea, just made from a bit of electrical flex. What a concept. And my favourite one is this extraordinary device here. It's quite an elaborate looking top. It's got this lovely, almost Persian type finish to the main disc. But what's this? Well, the answer is this is a device used for speeding it up. This is a spring wire, and to speed it up, so you haven't got enough room with your fingers to get on it, you're supposed to use the wire to speed it up. You place those into two of the inner parts of the design. You turn the wire about 2 turns roughly, or 3 turns. I do 3 turns. 1, 2, 3. There's a lot of tension, spring tension there. Place it on the thing, release the top first, and then lift up. And look what happens. Very, very unusual idea. Completely, to my mind, a unique one. And at the end, I'll slow it down. It makes a lovely little tape. Ah, that's beautiful. What an idea.